Well, hello, sixth graders. This is the last time that I can call you sixth graders because after this video, you'll be seventh graders and headed to County Middle or Hoptown Middle. So you've gotten your letter in the mail. And so you know it's time for me to say odd bye. If you read rules, you'll get that. In the novel Rules, the character of Jason, he was nonverbal because of his disability, and he had a communication book where he had to tap word cards in order to communicate with people. And Catherine, the protagonist, after she met him, she started making him word cards so she could introduce him to more language. And she had 2 guinea pigs, and one of the guinea pigs ate the corner off of the word goodbye. So from then on, Jason had to tell people odd bye. The guinea pig ate the G-O off of good bye. If we were in the classroom and would have read this novel, then for the rest of the year, I would have said odd bye as you were leaving after that chapter. Anyway, so you have your letter. This is my contact information. You have my address. I've had a post office box in Dawson for years. That's one of those boxes inside the post office where you have a key and you get your mail at the post office instead of at your house. I've had that for years and years, and I don't see that changing. So like when you graduate high school and you have those graduation invitations, send me one. I'd love it. And then there's my email address. So your letter says, it is time for me to say odd bye. Don't forget the lessons we have learned and that education is your ticket to a great adulthood, no matter what you anticipating happening in the future. I had a student several years ago who thought he was going to inherit the family business, and he goofed off in class quite a bit. And he would say, I don't know why I need this. I'm going to take over the business. Well, his grandparents got sick and the company was sold. He didn't get to take over that business. So apply yourself in school no matter what you think your future is going to look like. Give back to your community and leave this town and every other place you visit a little better than you found it. For my life is better because you were in it. Here are some rules to follow from here on out so that life will be easier for you, which is my greatest wish. So, and for your life to be easier, not easy, life's not easy, but for it to be easier, here are some guidelines. And if you studied the novel, these are going to sound very familiar. Rule 1, follow the rules. You might not always agree with them, but they're there to make it easier for everybody. And out in the real world, we've talked about this. Rules are called laws. Follow the rules. Number 2, don't run in the hallway. You guys are in 7th grade now. You'll look like kids if you run in the hallway. You don't want to look like a kid anymore, right? Number 3, if it's too loud, ask the other person to be quiet. Rule 4, sometimes you've got to work with what you've got. Find your strong suit. That's your ticket. Rule 5, if you don't have the words you need, borrow someone else's. Our Man Candy Monday and Woman Crush Wednesday lessons, I've been providing you with famous quotes from those role models. If you don't have the words you need, borrow some of theirs. Number 6, sometimes things work out, but don't count on it. You know, it's always good to have a plan A and a plan B, maybe even a plan C. Number 7, saying you'll do something means you have to do it unless you have a very good excuse. Rule 8, if you can only choose one, pick carefully. Rule 9, at someone else's house, you have to follow their rules. Number 10, if it fits in your mouth, it's food. And this rule is especially important when you have your own children. When you have children many years from now, anything that fits in their mouth is food. Little cars, food without biting into it. They just shove it in there. You don't want your kid to choke. Baby-proof your house. And remember, if it can fit in their mouth, it'll choke them. That's why that rule's there. It was different in the novel, but we're making these rules fit our lives. So that rule comes into play when you have your own children. Again, many years from now. Rule 11, sometimes people laugh when they like you, but sometimes they laugh to hurt you. Number 12, open closet doors carefully. Sometimes things fall out. People tend to stuff closets full of things, keepsakes. I'm bad about that. My mother's a pack rat, and I inherited that from her. I'm not a hoarder. Some people are. So when you open those closet doors carefully, take a step back. Sometimes things fall out. You don't want to look like Coyote off of Coyote and Roadrunner Looney Tunes cartoons. Let's see here. Rule 13. Sometimes people don't answer because they didn't hear you, but sometimes it's because they didn't want to hear you. Rule 14. No toys in the fish tank. Rule 15. Solving one problem can create another. Rule 16. Not everything worth keeping has to be useful. In the story, Catherine kept these different color bottles on her windowsill. People took them to the antique store and sold them to Elliot, the owner of the store, because they didn't have a use for it anymore. But Catherine really liked the way that they caught the sunlight in the windowsill, and she also loved this antique key that was very decorative, but it didn't unlock anything anymore. You know, those things that are special to you, little keepsakes, you know, they might not be useful, but they matter, and it's okay to keep those. Hang on to them. Rule 17. Some people think they know who you are, when really they don't. Rule 18, and you know what? You are my students this year, and you all should know this better than anybody. Late doesn't mean not coming. So if you've got something big happening in your future, and the person that you are meeting, if it's a date, a job interview, a teacher, late doesn't mean they're not going to be there. Late doesn't mean not coming. Rule 19, a real conversation takes 2 people. Rule 20, if you need to borrow some words, Arnold Lobel wrote some good ones. We read Frog and Toad Are Friends, and in our novel, David used Arnold Lobel's words to communicate with his sister whenever he was feeling anxious. So if you need to borrow words in your future, Arnold Lobel wrote some good ones. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. So did Muhammad Ali. I have worked diligently to provide you with an adequate vocabulary, so choose your words wisely. Read for 20 minutes each and every day. I know I've said that for 9 months now. Read for 20 minutes each and every day, because practice makes perfect. You're only going to become a better reader if you read. Read for 20 minutes a day. A magazine, a newspaper, the Holy Bible. We've talked about that too. Read any book that you're interested in. Set a timer, 20 minutes. It's shorter than any TV show. Practice makes perfect. That's the only way that you're going to get on grade level or beyond. For honors courses, just because you're on grade level doesn't mean you can't get better. 20 minutes a day. It keeps you there, and then it makes you better. Practice makes perfect. You'll thank me one day for asking you to read for 20 minutes a day. I read for 20 minutes a day every day as an adult. So if you want to thank me when you're older, because I asked you to read for 20 minutes a day and you followed through with that and knew that that was going to make you a better student. So you started reading for 20 minutes a day and you went out and conquered and dominated the earth because Miss Ipock in 6th grade asked you to read for 20 minutes a day. You can thank me by sending me an invitation to your high school graduation. I don't know if they do the ticket system at County High or Hoptown High, but somebody make sure I get a ticket so I can come to your graduations. I want to be there. I want to see you walk across that stage. I hate it that we had this pandemic that happens once every 100 years, once every century, that kept me from giving you a proper goodbye and sending you off to middle school. But I can still go to your high school graduation, and I would love that. So please, send me an invitation. You know, people, if you send people graduation invitations, they send you money. Send me one. I might send you a couple bucks. If you need me, I am here. #always. If you need me, I am here always. No matter what. Because I love you. Be great and do great things, 7th graders. I love you.